Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Voxel Talk. This time we're going to be talking about the Death Note movie based off of the anime. One of them is good, one of them isn't.
Hey, I think the anime might have been the good one. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
Yes.
But yeah. What expectations did you have going into the movie, Tommy?
Well, I had expectations that with Keith Stanfield playing L and Netflix producing the movie, this was going to be a bomb-ass movie. But then I also thought they were going to do it in a trilogy way. I didn't think it was going to be all like one major movie that potentially has a cliffhanger. By the way, if you haven't seen the Death Note movie, this is going to be like full of spoilers.
Spoiler, don't watch it.
Like, it was bad. it was really bad.
Yeah. Okay, let's
so
start
I
out.
thought it was going to be.
Well, I thought it would be at least okay at first, because like the trailers I thought were fine, and then as it got closer to release and I started seeing like people's response to it, I was like, okay, it's gonna be another live action anime film.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I expected, but yeah. So
It wasn't as bad as some other live action anime films I can think off the top of my head, like Dragon Ball and then Avatar, which is pretty much a movie that never really existed. And I'm talking about The Last Airbender, by the way, for those of you who might be thinking James Cameron or whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they caught on. James Cameron didn't make Avatar based off of an anime. But yeah. So the thing is, they really went in a different kind of direction. Like I felt like they didn't really care about the show. Like the characters.
They cared about the show, as in the premise of that
The premise.
Death Note book, and
The names of the characters.
the names of the characters. All right, so Light. I mean, he's a white dude. I wouldn't expect him to have the last name Yagami. So Turner. I
fine.
guess. Kind of just wondering, like, oh, they killed off his mom, and sister is gone. She was actually pretty hot, so I was kind of looking forward to her.
I don't remember there being a sister.
She ended up in a wheelchair at the end of the show, so that's probably why.
Oh, you're talking about the show. I thought you were talking about the...
Oh, yeah, I was talking about the show. I was still kind of just comparing and contrasting.
Yeah.
And it just, as a fan going in, I want to have low expectations, but then when I go in with low expectations and I still come out disappointed, it's a bad movie.
Yeah. From the beginning, like, for one, Light isn't Light in this movie. If he, he's like a cliche. He's more Amazing Spider-Man than,
Yeah. He's Andrew Garfield Light.
Yeah, he's Andrew Garfield's Light. Like cliche, like weirdo dude who likes the cheerleader and who's awkward and who can't act.
But even worse than that is that he whines a lot, like a little bitch. Like, when he was going up to the bully, how old are you? Oh, you stayed back. And so that means you're 18, which means if you punch me, that's going to be a criminal offense, blah, 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 punch. I'm like, oh, okay. I was expecting him to be like Olivia Pope from Scandal, like talk him down or something.
Yeah, and then he didn't say anything cool. He sounded like a loser, and then he got punched in the face.
Yeah. That was honestly one of my favorite scenes, because I really hated the guy playing him.
Fun fact, he's from the Naked Brothers band. Remember that? Remember the Naked Brothers band?
Nope.
Nickelodeon show.
Oh, wow. Now I do remember that show.
Nat Wolff. He was... This is where he is now. But yeah, the cool thing about Light is at the beginning of the show, you'd expect him to be kind of the nerdy character, but then he's like when he goes out on dates, like later on, he's like, yeah, I'm the most popular guy in town, and it like really like subverts the cliches of what you expect. But this movie just goes right into the cliches,
Yeah. And Light, he doesn't have to be this super cool guy, like crazy anime cool, but he's a smart guy, and he wasn't such a pushover, which is what kind of got me. Even his girlfriend Misami, who was Mia in this movie, threatened him with the death note and was literally gonna kill him. And I'm thinking, okay, how the hell are you gonna let your girl straight up be like, yo, I'm gonna kill you if you don't give me this death note?
Yeah, the funny thing is,
manipulated the hell out of her.
Well, he did at the end, but like at the last second with his long monologue. But it wasn't really fun or interesting. But yeah, I thought it was funny how consistent Mia was, like near the end, who's basically saying, I don't give an F about you, I just want the death note. And he's like, I love you. And I'm like, are you serious? Yeah.
In my head, I was kind of like, okay, I get it. Young high school guy, attractive cheerleader. Knowing the way Light is set up in this movie, she probably took your virginity. So you're probably just feeling yourself pretty heavily. But it's kind of very clear that she's a psychopath that needs to be killed.
Yeah.
And it's like, because she was definitely a psychopath in the TV show, but she also worshipped Light. So she did whatever he asked, unquestionable. While at the same time still being kind of a jealous girlfriend, but Light was able to handle her and manipulate her. Now, for any feminists listening at the moment, I don't think Light's relationship with the woman is appropriate. I just think
we also don't think you should kill people with notebooks.
Exactly.
We're not saying Light is a good guy.
Starts off maybe a little good. I mean,
he had good intentions, maybe. Though his intentions really were to become a god, so I don't really know.
Started off light. Funny, see what I did there. Then it got pretty heavy.
Yeah. The character that I thought they get right, at least a little, because they seem to get his design, like they took the time to like make him like Ryuk, but then he ended up not really being like Ryuk. Like,
no,
you know?
Okay, tell me how you feel Ryuk wasn't really like Ryuk.
Well, I felt because he was influencing Light too much. Like Light was when he first got the Death Note, Ryuk was trying to persuade him to kill people, and in the show he was more like non-caring, you know.
True.
But
he was pretty like, you can either use the notebook or pass the fuck off. I don't care.
Yeah, and I feel like they just wanted to make him like a creepy evil devil character, when in the show he's a lot more than that. You know, he's not like the scary bad guy, because they tried to trick you into thinking he was going to be the bad guy the whole time when it was actually Mia. And I felt like he didn't really have a huge purpose. He was just in the background saying creepy things and trying to be funny at times.
True. Honestly, I didn't even think about that, but you're right. He did kind of influence him a lot. And honestly, that's probably one of the few justifiable things I'll say in the movie that I'm not going to care too much about in terms of like how they portrayed Ryuk, because he was definitely a background character, a little bit of comic relief. Honestly, like the only other person that got really close and then they messed it up was L.
Yeah.
Because Ryuk and L were definitely the top two fan service, close to the manga type of thing. But speaking of that, L, how do you feel about
L? L was cool. I really liked his scene in talking to the news. Like, I thought that was kind of like the show, and it felt like a little intense. But I felt like the movie, like, kind of took the easy way out of a few of the plot points, because the show was pretty detailed on how, like, he narrowed down who Light was and all that kind of intrigue. In the show, it just kind of happened really fast, you know?
Right.
Which I guess it's a movie, so, it's not like a TV show. But I just felt like it wasn't as, like, you weren't really that all following it as much as the show was. But then L takes a turn.
God, L takes a turn.
Yeah, what'd you think of the turn?
All right, so he lost his pretty much father figure, Watari. And while I can see this causing L to like affect him negatively, where he's a little on edge, he went and kind of just jumped over the edge. He hopped off the edge as soon as he realized like Watari was dead, and he went up to Light. Like the fact that it was really appropriate when he was in the coffee shop and he was talking to L, and he was like, or he was talking to Light, and he was like, "Yeah, I know you're Kira, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Who's Kira? You know the guy killing everybody on the news? That's you, man. I know it." Sipping on the coffee. And then then it turns into him breaking into his house. Where the hell's Watari? Where's Watari? Just give him back. We can negotiate. Come on, just give him back. Then the dad comes up out of nowhere like some alcoholic stepdad. Bam! Like puts him into the table like, "Don't you dare accuse my son. Don't you blah 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 blah." I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, that just made me feel uncomfortable.
Real quick. I was extremely uncomfortable, and I don't know if it had to do with his face. That made me feel scared.
Yeah, we're just watching.
Maybe it's just seeing a white cop subdue a black man that just made the scene even that much more uncomfortable as well.
Yeah, it probably had something to do with it. Also, the scene with Light talking to L in the diner. In the show, Light throughout the whole time tries to keep up the appearance that he's like innocent. But in the movie, he's just like, "I'm clearly the bad guy," you know, like making super obvious hints to like, yeah.
I'm not the bad guy, but if I was, here's what I would do, and how you're not gonna catch me.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the show, he was all like happy, smiley, like, "What are you talking about? I'm just focused on my grades and being the top of my class."
And they like played tennis.
Yeah, they did play tennis. Wow, that was a whole episode. That was a very intense game of tennis. I forgot about that. Yeah. I would have loved to actually see that in the movie.
Also, early on, what pissed me off, like when I realized this movie was going to be different, is the first death scene with the...
Yeah. With the head getting cut off.
Yeah. Like, then I realized, like, oh, this is kind of... It seemed like a cheap Final Destination thing. Like, shock value, murder. And, like, the show was never really about shock value death. They're all pretty serious and not just like, "Whoa, that dude's head!" You know? That wasn't really how it was.
No. And I agree, well, maybe it might have just been something to like get people engrossed into it, as in, wow, this is real. This is some intense stuff right here. But I'm glad I don't think they went super gory with the rest of their deaths. It was kind of just somewhat.
The guy's neck did get cut off and he split out blood.
There was. It was extra gory. So that probably took a bit away from it. And was it just me, or did you feel like the deaths were a lot more smarter in the show?
Well, most things were smarter in the show.
but so simple as in off this roof.
That was kind of a cool like image, you know, like them all falling off.
Interesting, but then I was like, okay, well, that's kind of some more deaths similar to the finale of the movie where there's a ton of steps to this death, so it's a lot more complex than just a prisoner stabbing himself and drawing blood on the prison walls.
Yeah. Also, didn't the death we were just talking about with everyone killing themselves, like falling off the roof, didn't the first guy like have a heart attack? But they wrote that they killed themselves, that they jump off a roof. Why did the one guy who set off
the cheat?
Was he?
No, well, the one guy that set it off.
Because the reason L, I think, found out was because he saw that dude like die right in front of him. Then he was like, they're going after all the officers or whatever, but every single other one of them went to go jump off the the building, right? Isn't that what happened?
It was he just didn't pick up the phone.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Mel called him and he didn't pick up the phone, so that's kind of sort of how he kind of deduced it. Either way, I really don't care because L started off very strong, and Keith Stanfield got him really right in terms of his creepy, awkward feet on chair, eating M&Ms and stuff. That was a really good job of L, and he was deducing it really well in the beginning when he jumped off the edge.
Yeah, then it became. Then there was a 5 minute chase scene.
Chase scene was just. I was like, no, no, L does not do this. Even if he did do this, he never exercises. Well, he just creepily stays up for 48 hours and eats M&Ms all day while looking at the computer. You're telling me this guy can chase them all across
Yeah,
Seattle?
they're suddenly parkour experts. There's
It was off the wall crazy, and Keith Stansfield extra skinny, so he looks like a
yeah, I
track
noticed
star.
that. Like especially at one part when they're running through the building, you can see the light behind them.
Yes, yes, they look like stick figures. I didn't realize how skinny that dude was until then, because I've recently seen him in a few other movies, and I knew he was skinny, but he was definitely extra skinny. That guy should not wear skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Did you have a problem, by the way, my friend, me and him watched it together. Did you have a problem with the fact that with the race in the movie in regards to Light and his family being white and L being black?
No,
Did that play a factor into
since
how
it's
you...
like the American version, like it makes sense.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it didn't bother me. Like in Japan, they would have them be Japanese, you know.
Exactly. If it took place in Japan, okay, let's get some Japanese actors a shot at portraying these people, throwing a few minorities, American minorities. But L, as an African American, he brought it up as an issue. And in my head, I remember writing an article about diversity in movies, and as long as they're portraying them and they're not clearly portraying some particular culture of, like, let's say, Egyptians being portrayed by a ton of white dudes,
Yeah.
it's not that big of a deal versus, well, this is just a ton of American cops in Seattle. There's a ton of white people there. And Keith Stanfield did an excellent job as L until he went.
What nuts? Yeah.
I feel like Mia's character, were you a bit disappointed in her as well?
I thought she was entertaining, kind of, because she was like clearly crazy. But I didn't like root for her in any way or their relationship. You
Their
know?
relationship also was very awkward. It had an awkward start, awkward middle, then, an awkward ending with the death and all.
Yeah. Wait. Let's talk about that last scene. It was weird.
What part? They went into the Ferris wheel or the prom part?
the Ferris wheel, the whole falling, the whole
The
that whole
whole.
thing with the music, and it just felt really cheesy, you know?
It was extremely cheesy.
Um,
Okay, this is the climax of the film, but it was. Oh, and the fact that Light was somehow able to come up with that plan in under like 5 minutes at prom.
yeah.
In my personal head, I was thinking, okay, if he had came up with this in the morning, that would have made a hell of a lot more sense. But he's under pressure for 5, 10 minutes. Also, I didn't like. Remind me if I'm wrong. If another person writes a name in the death note in the anime and stuff, did that death even count?
I don't remember. There was a lot of rules.
There was a lot of rules, which is another thing that, okay, they could be flexible with the rules, but kind of giving it, if Light is the owner of the notebook, which I feel like they contradicted in the movie, but then they're having other people be able to use it. Is there really even an owner?
What's the point? Yeah.
What? Yeah, just pass
Yeah.
it to me. Blah blah blah.
It was funny leading up to the Ferris wheel thing, because I was like, why are you? They revealed at the end why he did it. I still don't really get why. But I was like, oh, they just really want to have this set piece on this Ferris wheel. We have to go all the way to the top. We're like, why? Why do you have to do this? What's your point?
This just have to be extra dramatic.
Yeah. It's like Light was the screenwriter. And he's like, we have to make this cool.
Definitely was a high school set piece for, Ferris wheel ending for this romantic relationship.
They didn't even have any connection to that beforehand, right?
I think they went on a date. Yeah, I think they went on a date there during their, montage between the sex and stuff.
Oh, okay. So there was a little setup for the Ferris wheel.
Yes, it's had a bit of a setup. I think they rode the Ferris wheel once, very briefly. They're naturally gonna end the relationship with death.
Yeah, I did appreciate how they were consistent with Mia's character, because I thought it was funny how she grabbed the book at the end.
Yes, yes. You weren't supposed to grab the book. You wrote my goddamn name in it. They were like arguing like literal high schoolers, so I thought that was kind of funny. You really wrote my name in it? You wrote my name in it first, bitch.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna kill each other right now?
I would have liked if they both just died there.
Honestly, that would have been the finale I would have been fine with. But then Lights ended up alive, and I was okay. Okay, all right. And then L went crazy, and then it's pretty much hinted that he wrote the name in the book. Which did you get like some crackhead vibe when he like, first in his room?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
I still don't really understand how he managed to put 2 and 2 together with the calculus book, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's also another stupid way of L being able to find a notebook. They set these things up a bit more believable, but I guess with one movie that should have been split into 2 movies at least. This is definitely a trilogy level type of movie.
No, I'd say it's more of a TV show, and just leave the TV show
Yes.
or manga be what it is.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, what do you think of having anime live action adaptations? Anyway, do you think any of them could be really good? Do you think they should still try? Okay, we just had a few technical difficulties, but we're back. So I was saying, Tommy, what do you think of having live action anime adaptations in general? Do you think they should keep doing them? Do you think they should exist?
I think it really depends on the anime, Jamal. It's really hard because with animes, they're hundreds of episodes long on the average. Death Note was unlike most animes where it was only about 40-something episodes. Stuff like Pokemon, I could see Pokemon getting a movie production. I think the biggest problem is they try and do a whole show into one movie when they need to be at least trilogies, if anything, because you don't see Lord of the Rings being one movie. That would make no sense. Fast and Furious has 8 movies,
and they don't have anything to go by.
No, they're just what are we gonna do next? What are we gonna do next? I'm surprised they haven't started flying jets and gone into Star Trek.
Well, they did have jetpacks, Iron Man suits, kind of in the last one.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
But yeah.
I won't get into it. I just think that if you get the right director, it can be done. Scott Pilgrim, it's not like a super popular anime or anything, but it's technically a manga.
Well, it's a comic book with kind of.
Is it a comic book?
Yeah, it's Canadian.
Comic book with manga influence, clearly, and it was done very well. So you got to be true to the comics. You got to not Americanize it so much. Like Dragon Ball, that was its problem. It was just another high school white kid.
Yeah.
Goku didn't go to high school. Goku didn't go to school. Let me just rephrase that. So.
Yeah.
What do you think?
In general, I feel like there's no reason for it, but you brought up Scott Pilgrim, so I think it can be done right, but they've just it's just really hard, you know. And like with Death Note and Dragon Ball, I don't understand like who the audience is. Like the fans, like do they think the fans are gonna like it, or are they just trying to use the name because it's popular?
Oh, they're
Like,
definitely using the name because it's popular. The only reason people watched it is because of Death Note,
yeah,
because of the show. So they're definitely trying to make money off of it by making those movies. But
yeah,
then it
yeah,
just ends up being a bad movie. So, you know, if you took time out of it to plan out a trilogy, then people
yeah.
would
I
it would
guess
it
what
would be a better product.
it needs to be made by someone who's a fan of the actual source material and wants the fans to like it. It
Exactly.
seems pretty straightforward.
Perfect example, even though it's not an anime or anything, but Deadpool.
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds produced that and made sure it was really good compared to his previous portrayal, where he had nothing to do with how the character was besides acting. So that was a really good job.
yeah. Also, I just feel like anime is harder, like more than American stuff is harder to translate into live action because of
Yeah.
the Japanese weirdness, and just like the pacing
Let,
and
let,
like
let's go. Let's go for Japanese culture. Their culture is just to the point where you cannot make a live action version of that without being incredibly bad.
yeah,
Of an anime.
unless you fully embrace it, like Scott Pilgrim, where that's the point, you know.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, it's just harder to translate. So that's why I feel in general like the shows are fine. Make movies that are animated movies, like they do that. Just keep doing that. Though in Japan, I know they make a lot of live action anime, like Japanese ones. But
Yeah, they made a live action Death Note.
yeah, they make multiple. I
I don't
think.
know how many they did. I just know they were bad.
And they did Attack on Titan. I'm pretty sure, right?
Also bad.
so, so yeah, I just say there's no point for the most part.
No point. So yeah, moving forward past this movie stuff. What video games you been playing recently?
Okay, the most recent game I beat was Uncharted Lost Legacy. Uh,
So all right, because personally I really don't want to be spoiled on it. How did you feel on it? To give me like a spoiler free type of thing. How did you feel about it?
it was good. It was a good game. It was really good. It's not. It doesn't break the mold like every Uncharted game seems to do about the last Uncharted game. But because it started off just being DLC, that's kind of what I expected. It's more of Uncharted 4 gameplay, but
Right.
it never reaches the highs like the huge set pieces of like a standard numbered Uncharted game. But it
Right.
does more than like Golden Abyss did, the
Golden
PS Vita
Abyss, that
game.
was the portable one.
Yeah, because
Oh,
that one was
I would hope it
yeah.
did, but yeah.
um, so yeah, it does have some cool set pieces, and Chloe's great. Um, she's she's like as good as Nathan Drake basically as an antagonist. I'm not. I mean
Do you?
protagonist.
I was gonna say Nathan Drake's intact. Technically, if you do look at him, like I was thinking of Lazarevich that one time when he was like, "How many men did you kill today?" Like, oh yeah, we did kill a lot of people in the past.
They were bad guys. Who cares?
Yeah. Do you think Naughty Dog may or may not be testing the waters that in 2 or 3 years after the hype dies down that they might reveal, oh, Chloe's gonna get her own game?
No, I think this is the most we're gonna get from Chloe. To be
Okay.
honest,
Do you think we're done with the Uncharted series?
for the for a while, since Uncharted 4 kind of left things open to be taken up for the next generation's kind of spoiler, I can see them going that route, but I think they're done for now, like in the short term, you know?
Okay.
Because
And
they're making
Naughty
The
Dog
Last of
is
Us right now.
right. Naughty Dog as a company, they're similar to Rockstar. Honestly, like they're Rockstar and Naughty Dog are the only comparable companies in regards to they want to push the envelope and try new things. And like they left behind Jack and Daxter. People have been craving Jack and Daxter all the time. Now they might come back with Jack and Daxter, but it's been a couple generations now, so it's acceptable.
I don't think they're coming back to Jack and Daxter.
You sure? I think
they were going to before they made The Last of Us. Then they ditched it. They were going to make a reboot, and then they didn't like they didn't feel like they were doing anything interesting, or I think they didn't think they were being true to the original games, and they just scrapped all of their ideas. There's like concept art you can look up, and then they made The Last of Us instead.
Well, I guess we'll just see. Is there anything besides Last of Us on their plate?
No, just The Last of Us 2.
Okay. Well, at least we got all hands on deck for that.
Oh, yeah,
so
with Lost Legacy, it has... Because Chloe's started in Uncharted 2, I feel like this game has a lot of references and callbacks to Uncharted 2. I'm not gonna say anything, but you're gonna see some pretty obvious ones.
Okay, cool. In terms of dialogue and set pieces, or I would say. Okay. Yeah, I plan on playing that pretty soon. I'm really into Destiny 2 right now, so I've been playing that.
Yeah, how is that?
You played Destiny 1?
Yeah, for a little bit.
And you played Destiny 2 a little bit. Destiny 2, it honestly, and I totally forgot, with the way Destiny 2 was set up, Destiny 1 was on the PS3.
Yeah.
Destiny 1 was on the PS3, and it still feels like they have not taken that next-gen jump into Destiny 2. There's some stuff that, I was going to say there's some little stuff that makes it a lot smoother in terms of gameplay, such as cutting down the amount of time you spend waiting, feeling less lost because there's a map. Customization got a tad bit better, but it still feels like we're using mostly the same engine, and it's a little bit more fluid. But there's nothing really new.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I got from
playing an expansion pack. Expansion pack.
Yeah, that's what I got from it. But yeah, I think that's kind of what you should have expected, because that's what it seemed like it was going to be beforehand. But it seems like everyone's playing it and most people are liking it. But yeah, that's Destiny 2.
In terms of story, it's pretty fun. And right now, I don't play Destiny. I'm some heavy player, so I'm not even at level 20 yet, like pretty much all my other friends in my clan are, because I just joined my buddy's clan, and those guys, they went die hard on it. And for me, I'm just like, yeah, I'm trying to catch up. It's a story mission that I can't beat. Can y'all come through, help a homie out? Because there was a few times where I was playing some stuff, and then waves and waves of enemies started coming, and I couldn't beat it. So it was nice to have them to call on as backup, as in, yeah, I got you, bro. But it kind of also sucks, because I don't remember in Destiny 1 whether or not this happened, but if let's say you've got a friend who's farther along in the campaign, you can't help them out because you haven't gotten that far in the campaign.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it was.
Was that in Destiny 1 as well?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, that also sucks, because then...
Maybe you just need to get good.
No, it's not get good. It's just I need to catch up campaign-wise and just hurry up and beat it. So... But it's a lot of fun. I mean, I would hope you'd maybe one day come on and hop on and play it, but it's all right. I know you don't plan on it.
Well, the thing is, I don't like with Destiny 1. I just didn't play for that long, and I don't know how much worth it is to buy the game. Like, yeah, and then I stopped playing. Everyone else is a higher level, you know.
It's weird to say it, but it's more like I played. The only reason I got Destiny 2 was for my friends, just so I could play with them. Literally, that was the only reason why I got it, because all my friends were talking about getting it. So I'm automatically gonna have a squad of about 3 or 4 people average every night for at least the near future. And then, but in regards to like if I were to just play this by myself, no, I wouldn't even be into it. This is definitely a game where you gotta play it with a friend.
Yeah, yeah. But that's how the first one was. So
There's also some other small stuff in regards to like microtransactions and the fact that the graphics look pretty much the same and what you would call it, customization isn't as in depth as it should be in terms of customizing your character.
Oh, isn't it more than before? Because like at least the colors used to be all in one thing. You can do different colors for different parts of your body, I think.
Yeah, I'm saying it's slightly better. It's just
it's just not anything all that.
It's been a few years.
Yeah.
It just felt like they were just, let's say they had a DLC pack they planned for Destiny 1. Then they realized, oh, this is so big. We'll just turn this DLC pack into an actual game.
Kind of like they did with Lost Legacy.
Exactly.
Except Lost Legacy is $40.
Yeah, and it's on the same system. And congratulations. Anything else about Lost Legacy? That's my opinion on Destiny 2. If you're gonna get it because you're gonna have some fun with your friends. But if you're gonna get it expecting some next generation crazy stuff, you might want to wait till next year for the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's the fact that you're paying $40, $35 depending on the pre-order for the expansion packs. That also kind of rubs me the wrong way. Because I checked out a GameStop. All right. Oh, by the way, do you want to pay $35 for expansion 1 and 2? Oh, or is that already? No, they come out in like 3 months. I'm like, in my head, I might not play this game in 3 months from now. So I'm not going to commit to this.
Yeah. I give you a few weeks till you quit.
Hey, maybe it'll change. I'm still playing Tekken 7. That game is really dope. I really wish you'd actually get into that. That's the best fight.
No, I think I'm good. It's a fighting game.
Have you ever played Tekken before?
Yeah, you kick people a lot.
Well, we used to play Marvel vs. Capcom all the time. And Street Fighter.
We tried to play it all the time, but if we actually thinking back, we probably played it 2 or 3 times online.
I think we played it a bit more. We had Ibuki versus Dudley fights on the daily.
Yeah,
not a daily.
It wasn't. It was like 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
Think back honestly.
Either way, I think Tekken 7 it's a really good fighting game.
Well, I haven't bought in any of the Tekken games. I've just played them. I'm not like a Tekken fan, so I don't really care.
All right. Well, if you have the opportunity to demo it, maybe it'll change your mind.
I'm not getting it.
All right.
Get Lost Legacy.
Great game, people. I at least I will get a Lost Legacy. While you, I don't know what game are you planning on getting any more games this year?
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah, we'll see. What else?
Yeah, for me, I'm pretty much just getting DLC for the rest of the year.
Oh yeah, and South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
Oh damn! When does that come out again?
October.
Damn it! Yeah, I'm gonna have to actually get that game too. How's Stick of Truth? Have you played? Because I saw you playing it the other day. Was that your first time playing it?
No, I played it months ago, like over a year ago. But I just didn't beat it. But it's really good. It's really funny and accurate to the show, and it's like just a fun, simple RPG.
Okay. And Fractured Butthole pretty much builds off that system, or?
Well, they kind of changed the gameplay into more grid-based combat. It's like more complex, but I think everyone's saying it's been like better.
Okay.
Because the gameplay in Stick of Truth is more, have you ever played like those Mario RPGs? Like,
nope.
Okay. Well, it's
Mario
just
and RPG doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Well, they're good. Like the Mario and Luigi games, they were on like portable. Um, but uh, but yeah, it's like choose your thing and then you time your click and then you get more damage. You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Just pretty simple, but it's still fun.
Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna. I totally forgot that game was coming out this year because it's been pushed back so much. I'm here thinking
like 20 times.
Yeah. So, which, hey, I can't complain about publishers pushing their stuff back. There's only one game that I think should have already been out by now, and that's Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
That's the only game.
They never pushed that back though. They just never announced a release date.
That's a good strategy on Tetsuya's part. So maybe a couple years, maybe next month. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyways, Final Fantasy though. Yeah.
But we'll be talking about that game maybe in a year from now. Maybe we'll be playing it by this time next year. It got a 2018 release date. You don't.
Hey, remember when we were in high school and we said that? Now we're college graduates.
Remember when we were in middle school? Remember?
Oh, wow. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a lot of hopes.
Are you gonna get the 2.8 or 2.5 or 1.5 or any of the fives or the points?
I was planning on making 2018 my single player year in terms of.
You said that last year. I specifically remember you saying that 2017 was going to be your RPG year, and that you're going to get through the Kingdom Hearts games and whatnot. That may have even been 2016, if I'm being honest.
You're right. No, I don't know. I beat Final Fantasy, and I beat Watch Dogs, and I beat Naruto all on my own in the first 3 months.
Oh, okay. Your big cousin didn't help you out? What are you trying to say? I beat it all on my own, Dad.
And I got Tekken 7, so I got really hooked on that. And there was some other, I feel like there was some other game I got kind of hooked on, and that just kind of kept my attention for a while. So yes, I do want to beat those games. I do want to beat the Kingdom Hearts games. But I also kind of sort of wanted to beat it in a window where I kind of had to beat it. And I was going to beat it back to back to back before 3 came out. So it's still feeling kind of fresh. So my goals now. My video game goals are, for the rest of this year, I'm going to beat all my DLC. So that's Final Fantasy 15. I got to beat the rest of that DLC. Life is Strange, because they got the new prequel that's already out. Batman, Telltale Season 1 and 2. And Uncharted, yeah. And then Destiny whenever they start their expansion packs and shit. And Tekken 7, I'm going to keep playing that because that game is actually pretty addicting. But at least I only play those. I only play Tekken 7 now, like, if a friend's over, like, right before I'm going to work, because I can play it for 10, 15 minutes and then leave.
Cool. So, also next topic, Rick and Morty.
Swifty.
Oh yeah, Swifty. Last night's episode. Pretty good.
By the way, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, September 12th. Well,
So-
not last night. It's 2 nights ago.
Just wanted to let everybody know when this is being recorded.
Yeah. The episode was the Atlantis mix-up. We didn't see Atlantis. We didn't see Atlantis once. We didn't.
Nope. We were totally promised an entirely different episode. And
we were
didn't
technically given what was shown in the commercial, the beginning and the end of the episode, where they go to Atlantis and they leave, but
because there was zero hints to that.
Yeah,
I'm right. Zero hints to that being the episode.
Yeah, which was Tales at the Citadel, which is what they called it. Yeah, which was a completely different show.
I want to just say how weird it is to say that one of the, in my personal opinions, the top 3 episodes of Rick and Morty technically didn't really have Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it didn't have C-137 Rick and Morty, I guess that's their universe, right?
But I just was saying but we did have Rick and Morty. We had
only
a shitload of Rick and Morty. It's weird. The creators just continue to blow my mind with the levelness of like, we're here now. We can keep going. We're not done yet. So.
Yeah, and Justin Roiland, the co-creator who voices Rick and Morty, he went all out in this episode, voicing pretty much everyone.
I'm just trying to picture him in the recording studio, just, oh geez, Rick, shut up, Morty, oh geez, and then he's just hitting the fluctuations just right to separate everyone so they don't sound the same.
Yeah, and then there's different Mortys, so the Mortys have their own different inflections, and the Ricks have their own different inflections. It's a lot of work.
Honestly, that's the type of voice acting work that Rick and Morty should get some type of award for, just for that voice actor. Like I don't know what the voice actor of the year award is, but that's definitely voice actor of the decade for being able to voice those many characters in one episode that are literally the same character. Because think about it, Seth MacFarlane. I used to think he was really impressive with the amount of different characters he voices on his shows, but this dude definitely just switched it up.
Yeah. Another impressive voice actor who was doing all the same characters but differently is D. Bradley Baker in the Clone Wars, because he voiced all the clones.
Oh, yeah.
And every one of them had different personalities, and yeah, it's crazy. So there's a few people can be really talented. That's all we really.
Yeah, extremely. But this episode was definitely great. Well, what was your favorite part of if you're gonna focus on
probably the end, probably the last few minutes.
So Evil Morty.
Evil Morty.
Are we doing spoilers? We're doing spoilers.
We just did. But yeah, spoiler: the Evil Morty reveal and his speech that wasn't a speech. This is the part where I'd make a speech about politics and whatnot. But this isn't a time for speeches. This is the time for action. And then then the song comes on and everyone gets blasted out of the air or whatever.
Yeah. I think me and my roommate are actually we're gonna watch that episode again tonight.
I watched it twice.
Did you? Yeah, we were going to last night, but then I was like, it's like 1 a.m. We need to go to bed.
But the thing
it was so amazing.
I rewatched the first Evil Morty episode.
We should do that. I'm gonna do that then.
Yeah.
Because it's weird, because you haven't seen Evil Morty since season 1.
Season 1, yeah. Yeah.
And then he shows up 2 seasons later, and you kind of sort of forgot about him.
Well, the fan base didn't. If you're on the Reddit, that's all.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, he hasn't been around in a while.
He hasn't been referenced at all, since the episode he was in.
Exactly. So while I doubt we'll see him again for the rest of the season, there's a good chance maybe they'll bring him back into the fold, season 4 or 5.
The thing is, I saw online some episode descriptions seem like they might be going back to the
Citadel.
That kind of story in that realm. But I don't know. But I hope so, because after that, I want to see what's happening next.
Exactly, and that's a really good thing to keep their viewers on the edge, because you're just like, wow, but I really want to know what Evil Morty's gonna do next. And I just thought it was funny because I really thought he was dead too. He's like, yeah, you should have done your job right. What? He's not dead? No. That was a really good. His Evil Morty song is dope too.
But yeah, this was probably the densest episode. There's a lot that's happening. The different characters who they follow, who are all Rick and Morty.
They brought it together pretty well.
Yeah, they made an entire civilization an entire city of Rick of Rick and Morty.
And what I thought's funny is besides that one Morty, technically all those Ricks have the same intelligence level as our Rick, minus the retarded. Sorry, my bad. Minus the
Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa! Oh God, I said the R word. I said the R word.
Okay, let's continue.
Sorry, guys. Darn it! Oh, damn it! I did it again. Anyways, we'll just chalk it up to Cartman level Tourette's.
Yeah. What are you saying?
My favorite part, though, definitely like before that reveal, was definitely the buddy cop Rick and Morty. That was awesome. Just having a Morty that's just super like jaded. Rick is just super new, vanilla. Like,
yeah,
that's against protocols. Blah blah blah. Shut up. Like the way he's just handling those people. Put a gun in a Morty's mouth.
Yeah,
like,
just.
Oh.
Yeah, so. It was pretty intense. And then when Rick shoots him in the head after he shoots the one. What was it? Big Morty was the name of the crime lord.
It was funny. Super swole Mortys too.
Yeah.
And weird because you're starting to think Morty's starting to redeem. Cop Morty's redeeming himself, and then it takes a twist. So
yeah. Also, in typical Rick and Morty fashion, they had like that kind of really messed up. Premise like for the candy bars yeah
so and it secretes fluid into our tasty is it Rick bar?
Yeah, I don't remember. And then they did it a second time. And like Rick tasted freedom for the first time and we captured that. And they were like, what?
That was really perfect because, like, you think that Rick, he has a mental breakdown, but he thinks he's getting away with everything. But that Willy Wonka Rick, he's definitely on like, this weird.
Yeah.
Similar to our Rick. The only thing is he's more business focused than science focused. I would say personally.
Did you notice the Steve Jobs Rick? There was he at the end. What?
Oh, you mean at the round table?
Yeah, there's a black Rick. There's a lot of there's a lot of Ricks. And they kind of had what?
What was that? Didn't notice that.
What? Which ones?
I didn't notice too much into the round table Ricks. I just kind of noticed the Arab Rick, and that was it.
Yeah. Watching it a second time, you should really just pay attention to the different Ricks and Mortys in it. I also liked the first evil Morty speech, but when everyone thought he was like, good guy, and he was making that inspirational, to all the Ricks and Mortys who believe. Yeah. Like, oh, this is real, but it's also hilarious. Yeah.
That was a great episode, and justify having to wait another week to watch it. So you can tell these creators put in a lot of time and effort into their work. That's for sure.
This episode had to take a lot of time to make, like to even just like think of and write down,
About the season premiere, man, like this thing got like on the that also involved the Citadel, so I guess that's why it was so crazy. These Citadel episodes are just
yeah. When you have a lot of Ricks, it's gonna be crazy.
But I have a lot of fun with it, and that's definitely one of my favorite ones. I can't believe they did that crap.
Yeah. Should we wrap it up?
Well, now that you said it, yeah. Out to dinner with this chick you talked to on Tinder, and then she's like, "Yeah, so ready for the bill?" Oh, sure.
Yeah, that's a completely 1-to-1 scenario.
Yeah, I got rejected this week a couple times.
Oh.
Yeah. Tinder game though. Swipe life. Oh, Kylie sent me a message on Bumble, and I got a new match on Tinder, so I got that going for me. Thanks. Anyways, so before we go, no, we do have a Facebook. Make sure to like us, share a post. Don't forget to view us. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can listen to us on like pretty much any podcast app, I would assume. So subscribe to that as well.
So the YouTube channel is Voxelspot. The podcast is Voxel Talk. We just have to clarify these differences.
Because with Voxelspot, we're actually going to have some audio dramas coming out, similar to the Spider-Man one. I don't know if you've heard that yet, but if you liked it and you loved it and you've listened to it, we're going to have more of that to come soon. And what else do we have going on? Just more episodes. So comment, tell us what you want, what you think we did bad. Let us know. The more feedback we get, the better we get. Or, just troll us.
Yeah, just call us racial remarks and... but no.
As you want. Please don't. Later.
Yeah. But yeah, that's wrapping up. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of Voxel Talk. Later.